Are you hungry? Can't make up your mind on what to prepare for dinner? This week we see what MATC's culinary program brings to the table. But don't worry, we have some healthy options for you as well as we visit the local community program, Food for Health. Smell that? I think Chef Greg has a new recipe for us in the kitchen. Let's see what's cooking this week on MATC Now. Good afternoon and welcome to this week's episode of MATC Now. I'm your host, Lauren Hill, and we're glad you joined us today. I'm joined in the studio by my very special co-host, Peter Kramer from the MATC cafeteria. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us.
Thanks for having me today, Lauren.
Peter, could you tell me a bit about what you do?
Well, I am the Director of Food and Catering here at MATC. I'm responsible for operations across all 4 campuses, from budgets to vending machines.
Well, thank you for telling me about your role here at MATC. We appreciate the work you do, and we'll catch up again in a bit. MATC's cafeteria offers a variety of hot and cold food options, but when it comes to keeping it local for something fresh, you don't need to look far. Field correspondent Torian Smith is up on MATC's rooftop garden to tell us how fresh food can come from anywhere. How's it going over there, Torian?
Thanks, Lauren. We are right across the street from the downtown MATC campus at a secret rooftop garden. We'll learn more about this garden and how culinary students are utilizing it. We'll see you in a bit.
Or when it comes to noticing talent and recognition, MATC is home to a variety of people who are remarkable for their accomplishments. Student producer Ivan Aguila-Garcia introduces us to a particularly outstanding student. But first, if you're looking to make healthy food at home, student producer John Weimer takes us to local program Food for Health to show us how.
On MLK Drive in Milwaukee is Food for Health, a community-based organization whose mission is to create equitable access to healthy and happy lives through the power of food.
We had 3 recipes on eggs, and we wanted people to know eggs are nutritious, they're affordable, they're really easy to prepare. So we gave people some great ideas and had a lot of interaction with the community. You know, everyone they come with great questions and great things to add to the class. So the class is really a community event.
Started coming here at the invitation of a friend who was also a participant in 2023, late summer, early fall. And I figured this was a good way to learn how to eat better. Learn about different egg dishes that are not necessarily bad for you and your cholesterol. The eggs have many benefits, especially with the B vitamins and omega.
Today we had 3 recipes. Our first was an easy scrambled egg, adding vegetables. We always want people to get some veggies from the start of the day, so breakfast is a great place to add. Then we had a delicious egg salad for lunch recipe that included a healthy bread. And then the last recipe we had today was a 2-ingredient egg and banana pancake. So when people have very little in their cupboards or in their fridge, it's really a great recipe to whip up. And then you could serve it with a little cinnamon or a little peanut butter, and it almost acts as a great dessert too.
When you're making eggs, spice it up with spinach, arugula. Get your green veggies in by eating different egg dishes, by putting vegetables in your egg dishes, including red bell pepper, which is a favorite of mine. So you learn those tips coming here.
By equipping citizens with the knowledge and skills to prepare healthy meals, Food for Health has cultivated a stronger and healthier Milwaukee.
Food for Health is goal is to improve health and happiness through the power of food.
MATC is home to many amazing and interesting people, one of them being Alham Alipuit, a food technology student who is more than meets the eye. Alham is a Kazan native who loves mixing work and study with travel.
I'm Alham Alipuit. I'm international student at Milwaukee Area Technical College. I'm a student majored in chemistry. I have my bachelor degree from Kazakh National University, and my master degree has been done in South Korea, Bukkyong National University. So currently I'm here doing my STEM program. At the same time, I'm food pantry coordinator at Walker Square Education Center.
Alham knows 7 different languages and is in the process of learning Spanish to help him interact with more people.
By learning new language, we can get the new view for some problems, and I'm thankful that I get opportunity here to learn Spanish. At the same time, I'm also thankful that I got opportunity to being student worker in Walker Square. I really like to use my gap year as maximum as possible to discover new places, new opportunities, and great people.
Not only does he know many languages, works at the food pantry, and earned an associate degree in the chemical technician program, but has also been chosen to represent MATC as this year's state ambassador.
When the result came and I saw the email that congratulations, you've been chosen as ambassador of MATC and you're going to join Wisconsin Dell. I was so excited and I didn't really believe is it really possible that I can be chosen for this opportunity.
Alham is still not sure what his plans are after he graduates, but with all the hard work he has done, he is sure to have a bright future ahead of him and knows he's in good hands here at MATC.
To be honest, I haven't really decided yet, and it's still in the process, and there's no clear results yet. So I was hoping the experience of MATC will have some amazing reflect on my future, and it's genuinely guide where I will not regret that I have got time here.
Alham has many accomplishments and seems to keep on adding more. He has gotten many honors at MATC and has volunteered plenty as a student worker. He's a very kind person and is sure to lend a helping hand in any way he can.
It's wonderful to meet and work with such kind people.
It sure is. We all need an extra hand to help when we struggle.
Speaking of helping hands, let's see what field correspondent Torian Smith is up to with that rooftop garden. Torian, what have you planted?
Thanks, Lauren. As I mentioned before, we are here at the downtown MATC campus rooftop garden at the T building. I am here with Chef Jack, culinary instructor. How are you doing today, Jack?
Great. We got the sun. We're on the rooftop garden, and
Nice.
It's all good.
Yeah. Could you tell me a little bit about the history of the garden?
Absolutely. So this started kind of as just an idea 7 years ago. All the culinary labs started to compost their food waste, which is kind of a big, people are becoming more aware of that. But then when you compost the food, then you end up with compost. So then the thought was, well, could we bring some of the compost back to the school and then grow herbs on it and utilize it back in the kitchen? So it'd be kind of a full circle, experience for the students to learn and see that, and then to experience fresh herbs. And so the rooftop garden started about 7 years ago, the idea, and then MMSD came in and helped us because they're interested in it for stormwater retention. So normally a rooftop garden would be, just seed them like this down here. The roof would be this, and it acts like a sponge where if it rains really heavy, it just sucks up all the extra water, and then if it doesn't rain for a month, it's fine because it can tolerate the dry conditions.
Nice.
So that is part of the MSD was interested in that. But what we're interested in is over here, the raised beds. So in here, we've got some of the compost that comes from the food labs. It's always good to get your hand in dirt, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's therapeutic.
Nice. So we have a lot of greenery here.
And here's the herbs. So we've got some oregano, and these were all planted last summer. And the rosemary, we were actually surprised. This is from last year. If you scrunch it in your fingers and then just smell it.
Oh my gosh, it smells so
And
fresh.
It is. And that's what when we brought the students out here, first, it was hard to get them out here. But then once they'd never seen oregano coming out of the ground like this.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is nice, but what do you guys do in the wintertime?
Well, we dream about coming up here. Actually, so we've got it in 2 stages. We've got the rooftop garden, which produces the herbs, and then in the dining room, cuisine dining room, we've got the hydroponic system, which produces 5 different herbs and then lettuces that we serve right in the dining room. And then as we're walking by, and then
yeah. So, do you guys only have just the herbs here, or what?
No, actually, that's because this is really a benefit for the whole college. So we've got these other raised beds up here. There's 30 different types of other native plants that grow. And last fall, we counted 6 different varieties of bees buzzing around up here, which, we need the bees for, pollinating everything. All the foods that we eat need the bees.
Nice. So I'm getting very excited here because I'm seeing a lot of greenery here.
Some more
stuff. What do we have here?
So we've got on the ground, we've got some more sedum, and then up here in our beds, we've got the oregano again. And we found that the Mediterranean herbs seem to be doing really well, which kind of makes sense because it's kind of a drier, environment up here. And, at first the students were kind of a challenge to get them up here, but then once they started, pulling weeds and clipping herbs, they started saying it's almost therapeutic to be up here.
Well, thank you so much, Jack.
Absolutely.
That's all the time that we have. And it's back to you in the studio, Lauren.
Thank you, Torian. Music always drives people and cheers them up during bad times or when things get a little rough. If you listen closely, you can probably hear the music students downstairs. Student producers JC Griffith and Sade Moore-Beamon show us what they're doing. But first, let's check our audio levels with student producer Charles Anderson as he introduces us to professional audio engineer for Milwaukee PBS, Karl Landwehr.
Karl Landwehr. I am a broadcast engineer for Milwaukee PBS. My responsibilities for the station are to design, install, and maintain all of the audio systems, as well as mixing our larger productions. So if we're doing a debate at the station, that's something that I would mix. So as a result, my days are incredibly varied. I'm right in the middle right now of moving a whole bunch of technical gear, and that means I'm pulling wire, I'm programming the intercom system, which is over my right shoulder. I'm putting labels on cables. I'm making sure that it's all dressed properly so that when somebody has to go in there in 5 years, they can get at what they need to get at. So my days, tomorrow I might end up just selecting microphones for next year, or look at new mixing boards for situations that come up. And then I'm also around to answer questions. If we have a producer who's doing a show and they should be coming to me and going, we want to do something at this venue, what should I be aware of? And so I have to know about air handling systems and the acoustics of a room and things for people to watch out for and give consultations on what to be aware of. For me, I think people forget that intercoms are audio, but audio is something that you can't see, and so it's thinking about what everybody on the show needs to hear. Anything you do that's above a certain level of complexity, and all of the specialties in television qualify. Audio is certainly one of them, where talk to as many people who do it as possible. Get into as many situations where you can be working in the industry as possible. Do whatever you can. If it just means wrapping cables or going someplace and helping people put cabling in, it gets you in the door, and it's a great place to start. And then if you find somebody who you really like their work, then you want to pick their brain, ask them questions. Hey, why did you put that mic there? What are you doing? How are you covering up this part of it? How are you covering the sound that comes from over here? And ask questions. It's all about asking questions. And you eventually, you may find that somebody doesn't really, you may not like what they're doing, but they know one piece of equipment extremely well. Well, great. Find out what they know about that piece of equipment and stick that into your bag of tricks.
Music exerts a powerful influence on us, and its usage exceeds entertainment. As the popularity and rapid production of video content in social media, sound recording, and performances, a program at MATC creates present opportunities for aspiring musicians and audio engineers. With the combination of creative and practical aspects of sound and music, the Music Occupations program at MATC's downtown campus prepares students to enter a musical field of audio production. Steve Peplin, an instructor at the college, delivers his insight and knowledge of musical elements to students.
I would describe the music program as a trade school, like any other program here, which seems sort of counterintuitive to learning music. The genres that this music program focuses on are not traditional. We don't just do classical and jazz, although we do deeply go into the theories behind classical and jazz. You find a lot of rock, hip hop, metal, pretty much anything you can imagine you'll run into here.
Class topics include music analysis, reading, composition, and ear training, to name a few.
My favorite class would be composition. I have projects that I have worked on that I'm continuing to work on. I'm currently right now working on a Latin tune, actually.
My favorite project actually might come from that one. I did a really cool Latin tune called Steel Claw Cat.
Students can collaborate with one another, intertwining their knowledge in other areas, and create projects on a larger scale.
It's sort of musical chairs. They rotate a lot, they form a lot of bands.
You know, you find your people, at least in the music occupation program. You tend to find your people down there, and it's great when you can all get together and work on your originals together outside of school, and then sometimes we'll go play out at open mics together.
I had a duo gig with one of our guitarists down there, Luke Marshke. That was a lot of fun. That was out and about. I'm in another band with Ian. Ian and I tried to do another band earlier. It ended up not working because sometimes people just end up, not working out, but we're okay with that. The connections that we all have down there, it's like there's no hard feelings if it doesn't work out kind of a deal, which is very, very nice.
When people complete the music program with the associate's degree, they can generally play live concerts, gigs, teach, and do studio work.
Sound gives us the sense of the feeling of life that surrounds us. From the beat of a drum to a melodic tune, the Music Occupations program instructs students to perform at a professional level.
I don't think anyone can live without music these days, but you know what? The same could be said about food. Here is student Ayana Mendoza to tell us more about that delicious taste of happiness in the culinary program. Ayana, what inspired you to take the program?
A large part of it is like my childhood and growing up in the kitchen, spending time with my cousins, my mom, my siblings, and just enjoying food, honestly playing in the batter and stuff. And then another part is like Milwaukee itself. I mean, if you're from Milwaukee, you know Fiesta Italiana, Fiesta Mexicana, Puerto Rican Fest, Irish Fest, and all the food that's available. Every year my birthday would fall on Indian summer weekend. And so we would go there every weekend for my birthday, and like the food there was just amazing. And it really inspired me to just delve deeper into just, instead of enjoying, creating food as well.
That sounds awesome. What specifically drew you to the pastry program?
I don't know if I have a real answer for that, because I do pretty well stovetop and oven cooking both ways. But I think what drives me closer to pastry is honestly the science behind it, and specifically what I like making the most is like yeast-raised doughs, some things that require precision, patience, and like a lot of focus. And that, to me, you get to watch the chemical process happen. You know, you have the pre-fermented dough, and then you put that in, and it creates something entirely different. It triples, doubles, quadruples in size. And then the shape changes, the texture changes, the color, all of it, the flavors come to life, and it creates such a beautiful product, like croissants. You know, croissants are amazing. Specifically, I love conchas. They're a Mexican pastry, sweet bread or pan dulce. They're called conchas because they look like shells. They're bread with sweet topping that you put on top. You make little slices in it, and it comes out, bakes, it rises, and it domes, and it comes out looking like a shell. They come in like strawberry and vanilla and chocolate, and they're just so good. They're so good after dinner, for breakfast, with your coffee. Definitely my favorite. Yeah.
Sounds amazing. So, given your obvious passion for food, what sort of advice would you have to sort of a future culinary student coming into the program, whether it be to the pastry program or to the cooking side?
I would say always keep yourself open to learning. One of the quotes that I find the most helpful for me when I'm struggling with something is, the more you know you don't know. So regardless of the experience you have coming into the pastry industry, the culinary industry, if you're coming here to learn, you're not the expert. You know, so just humble yourself a little bit, and just know that you're there to learn. It's okay to ask for help. We have incredibly supportive students and staff that are always there to answer your questions, to support you, offer as many resources as we have on hand, and to encourage you. You know, you can always say, hey, I need you to look at my batter. I need you to look at, does this look done to you? Is this rising correctly? How long have you had your stuff in the oven? Has the environment changed the baking factors and things like that?
That's amazing. You know, it takes people a long time to figure that sort of stuff out. What is one thing that maybe you thought you maybe knew, or what's the biggest surprise you've had in the program that has sort of been an aha moment?
Marshmallows.
All right.
So I personally don't have a lot of interest in marshmallows, but when we had to make them for one of my classes, I kind of sabotaged myself a little bit, because going into it, I knew I didn't like marshmallows. I knew I wasn't going to eat them. I knew I had no interest or passion for like the recipe we were making, and it showed in the effort that I put in, and it failed. It was probably like one of 3 things that I failed in my time in the pastry program, because I didn't put in the effort, you know, and that was my fault. That was a learning experience for me.
I'm honestly the exact same way. I'm not the biggest fan of marshmallows, but you got to learn how to deal with them, right?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Fresh marshmallows are amazing.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Mine just completely disintegrated.
No.
They had set so well, and when I peeled them off, when I peeled the parchment paper back and I started cutting them, they just started melting and disintegrating, and I knew I did not put the same amount of love as I did with every other thing I've done so far.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about the culinary program.
Of course, anytime.
And actually, I think I can smell what our chef Greg is making. What are you trying to toast over there, Greg?
Welcome to our kitchen, where today we are going to be making some avocado toast, which is not only incredibly simple to make, but bursting with flavor and packed with nutrients. To begin, we'll need to gather ingredients. Here I have a ripe avocado. When choosing an avocado, look for one that yields a little bit to a gentle squeeze, but avoid using mushy or stringy avocados. We will also have a half teaspoon of lemon juice, some bread, olive oil, some spices, and some extra stuff to garnish it, like red pepper flakes, as well as the utensils that we'll need, like a fork, knife, bowl, spoon, things like that. First thing we need to do is toast our bread by popping it into the toaster. As that is cooking, let's prepare our main ingredient, the avocado. Now, we must remove the pit from the avocado. First, we're going to start by holding the avocado in one hand, and with the other hand, taking a nice sharp knife and carefully slicing into one side of the avocado. Once that's in there, you need to start to rotate the avocado around the blade, working it around carefully to not cut yourself until you've made a full circle and come back around to where you made your initial slice. There we go, that should do it. Always exercise caution when you're using things like a knife so that you don't cut yourself, and handle the avocado carefully to avoid accidents as well. So now that we've made our cuts, what we're going to do is take the avocado and just twist opposite directions to reveal two halves. Now you'll see the pit was left in one half of the avocado. So to get that out of there, what we're going to do is hold the half of the avocado with the pit firmly but gently to not damage the fruit. And then we're going to take our knife and whack the pit with just enough force to get in there, into the pit. All right, that should work just fine. And then what we're going to do is twist the knife to dislodge the pit, and it should come out on the blade just like that. Again, be very careful when you're doing that. You don't want to whack down so hard that you accidentally go through and cut yourself. So now that we have that done, it's time to scoop this out. And one thing that's pretty cool about the avocado is despite its creamy and savory flavor, it's actually a fruit. Not only just a fruit, it's actually a single-seeded berry. Who would have thought that something green like this, that had that type of flavor, was going to be a berry? That's pretty cool. So next, what we need to do is mash up this avocado. Now, I like to use a fork to mash mine, but they do make different devices that are made just for smashing avocado that you can get if you prefer to go that route. So we're gonna mash this up. You wanna mash it enough that it's nice and creamy, but you wanna leave some chunks in there to have a more pleasing texture for the avocado. It's not gonna taste real good if it's super duper mushy on your bread. And doing the mushing part here will keep your bread from ripping when you put it on. You want to do this so that it creates a nice soft product for you. So now that we have that, we're going to add some flavor to the avocado. First, what I'm going to do is add a little lemon juice, which not only gives it some good flavor and acidity, it's also going to act a little bit as a preservative, a natural preservative, and preserve the flavor and the color of your avocado. Next, what I like to add is just a little salt and pepper. We have about an 1/8 teaspoon of each here, but experiment with it. Go crazy, eye it up, do what you like. However you like to taste it, however you like to flavor it. Now, for the moment that we've all been waiting for, we're gonna assemble our avocado toast here. So I have the toast hot out of the toaster. We're just gonna grab our knife and start applying the avocado that we just mashed up and go from corner to corner. Get a lot on there. This stuff is good. You wanna make sure that this is gonna fill you up for breakfast or a nice snack, however you wanna eat it. And we'll put that on there. Okay. Now you could eat it just like this, but I prefer to add a little bit of more panache to it. I like to add a little bit of hot red pepper, just a pinch. Just liven things up a little bit here. Yeah, a little more than that. There we go. And then some olive oil. Olive oil adds another layer of flavor and richness to it. And it's also super nutritious and has fantastic health benefits. So don't be afraid to give it a try. Avocado toast is a great option for individuals looking for a quick and easy meal. It requires minimal preparation and can be customized to suit dietary preferences and restrictions. You can whip up a satisfying breakfast or snack in just a few minutes with some simple ingredients. Thank you for joining us in the kitchen. I hope you give this avocado toast recipe a try and you enjoy it as much as we do. Until next time, happy cooking.
Thanks, Greg. I truly enjoy some avocado toast for a quick snack time. Make sure to make some more for us. I could go for some right after the show.
Changing the topic before we get hungrier, student producer Robin Jackson takes us to the UWM Anthropology Department to meet one of their students and give us a fine cultural aspect to learn.
UWM consists of many academic departments as well as extracurriculars that anyone on campus can join. Freya Thieler is a sophomore currently attending UWM and experiencing the many different classes they have to offer.
So my original plan going to UWM was that I was planning to go for music education. But then as the deadline got closer, I kind of bailed out on the audition, and so I ended up going in for just education, and then during orientation I decided on specializing in special education. I took 2 gap years after graduating high school, so I started college at 20 years old. I felt like that was definitely the best course of action for me, as I had gotten really burned out from high school. I had thrown myself into a lot of extracurriculars and a lot of really challenging things, and I just didn't feel like I had the energy for college. And so I took 2 gap years and ended up doing some stuff that I was really interested in, and that ended up motivating me to eventually apply for college. I'm currently studying anthropology. I kind of realized that I didn't want to do education right now in my life, and that it's something I want to do later on. And I had a lot of fun in my anthropology class, so I ended up deciding to switch majors. Ever since I was young, I wanted to be an archaeologist, and I had kind of forgotten that dream after I had graduated high school. But taking my anthropology class, I remembered wanting to do archaeology. I think anthropology is going to be one of the subjects that I'm always going to try and at least do one class in, even if I'm not majoring in it, just because I really enjoy the discipline and I enjoy the work ethic of the people that I'm reading about.
Sometimes college isn't just about building a career, but having an outlet for your academic and creative desires.
I do what's known as Milwaukee Steel Panthers, which is our steel band, and I participate in that even though I am not a music major. I play with the band, and I've been playing steel pan for a while. I started playing steel pan in middle school when the 2 directors of Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra's steel pan band came to my school and held auditions. And ever since then, I've really enjoyed steel band.
It's important to live in the moment and take advantage of the opportunities presented to you.
It's so cool to see what neighboring colleges are up to. Now I think it's time we see what Lauren has for us with the MATC Minute.
Join us for a day of giving back and saving lives at MATC Community Blood Drive event this Wednesday, April 17th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Oak Creek campus in the cafeteria. Hablas Español? Meet your Spanish-speaking colleagues and practice your Spanish Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 12 to 12:45 p.m. downtown Milwaukee campus cafeteria. Bring your own lunch and look for a table with flags. Questions? See the contact below. Need a break from the studies? Stop by the Student Life Office A102 to access our free video games Monday through Friday. Come and go as you please, 2 screens, 8 controllers, and dozens of video games available. The Office of Student Life presents Family Fun Zoo Day. Enjoy all that the zoo has to offer, including games, face painting, magician, caricature artist, and more. Sunday, April 21st, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Milwaukee County Zoo. Tickets available at the cashier's office. Student tickets are free. Denim Day is a sexual violence prevention and education campaign. Join us all week as we decorate and hang denim in the main atrium at MATC downtown from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday, April 22nd through Wednesday, April 24th.
Thanks, Lauren, for that wrap-up. What do you say we check on student producer Sage Todd down at Washington Park for this week's Gem KE?
Hi, I'm student producer Sage Todd here at Washington Park, and this is another hidden Gem KE.
Here on the north side of Milwaukee, near the cross of 40th and Sherman and Lisbon, lies Washington Park. Spanning across more than 130 acres of land, the park is a place that the people of the community enjoy to visit and hang out. With the abundance of wildlife in the ponds and fields of the land, there is so much for the people of the community to see and enjoy.
The community around Washington Park has used the park due to its wide range of space for special events, family activities, or just to enjoy yourself and take a stroll around the park.
From the different trail paths leading deeper in the park, the various flocks of birds playing in the ponds and fields, the relaxing scenery of the current ecosystem, or even the historical landmarks that is displayed at the park. People who come to visit the park get to enjoy one of the Milwaukee's most beautiful places to be.
I'm student producer Sage Todd, and this has been another Hidden Jim K.E.
After seeing those views, I bet the sunsets must be something wonderful. Now, before we close the show, I just want to thank our co-host Peter and our guest Diana for being with us here today and for telling us more about the cafeteria and that delicious pastry program.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
And thanks to you for tuning in to this episode of MATC Now. I'm your host, Lauren Hill, and we'll see you next week.